Uh, should I use it? Is it too late? You can get it. It's there. Prema, just get the mic. Oh, man, if I plug it in, the whole thing will have to start again. Won't it?
Okay, maybe it's okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Gurube Gaura Chanda Radhika Tadale Krishna Krishna Bhatta Tadabhatta Namo Namo. Again, third time lucky on a new computer. I think the old computer the new computer we used overheated twice. India's just everything is impossible. Okay, so I'm going to erase those two recordings and just start again. Okay, so now comes to chapter 14. This is the third verse of the Dasmal Tattva, describing Sakti-tattva. No? Although Bhagavan is non-different from his inconceivable potency, the Parashakti, still he has his own independent nature and desires separate from his Shakti. This Parashakti consists of three aspects, or three divisions: potency which manifests the spiritual variety, the Chit Shakti; the potency which manifests the material creation, the Maya Shakti; and the intermediate potency, the marginal potency, called the Jiva Shakti, which manifests the unlimited individual souls. No? So Bhagavan's potency is doing everything, and Krishna directs everything by his desire, but remains unchanged, untransformed. Okay, so this is the potency of, this is the philosophy called Shakti Parinamvad. The Mayavadis do not accept the potency of the Paratattva. Right? That is the first question of Rajanath. Oh Babaji, the Brahmanas declare that Brahma has no form, God has no form, and the Paratattva has no Shakti. What is your opinion? So Babaji Maharaj said, are you kidding? Everywhere the potency of the Paratattva has been described throughout the scriptures. Natasya karam karanam chevidite, natad samasnacha atyadika chevidite. Parasya shaktis vivadeva shuryate swabhavik gyan bal kriyacha. Okay, we're just hearing for the third time, just so we can remember. No? The Shrutis everywhere describe the Parashakti of Krishna. No? That Parashakti has three activities: the Bal Shakti, or the potency of existence, that is called the Sandhini Shakti; the Gyan Shakti, the potency of knowledge, that is called the Samvit Shakti; and thirdly, the potency of action, the potency of Ananda, that is the Ladini Shakti. So this is the Svatastara Upanishad clearly describe the Shakti of the Absolute Truth. Mayavadis do not accept the potency of God. No? They believe, the Paratattva, he has no energy, therefore he himself has to become the jivas. He himself has to become this world, and in doing so he loses his existence. No? We do not accept that. We believe in the philosophy of Shakti Parinamvad. Krishna remains always separate from his potency while being non-different from it at the same time. And his Shaktis perform unlimited activities under his direction, but Krishna always remains Niskriya. He never does anything. He does everything just by desire. No, so we heard already, right? So many verses now Babaji Maharaj quotes describing different potencies of Krishna. We heard there are two types of souls. Ajamekam lohita sukta Krishnam bahu praja srijamanam surupaha ajo hi eko jusamano anusute jahati enam bhukta bhogam ajo anyaha. There are two types of souls, the liberated souls and the souls who are bound. The bound souls, the ignorant souls, always trying to enjoy Maya or Prakriti, which is white, red, and black. White means goodness, mode of goodness. Red means mode of passion, and black means mode of ignorance. But the liberated souls renounce Prakriti. So there's another verse from the Sakti-tattva Upanishad. They're clearly described. Maya Shakti and the Jiva Shakti. So where people get the idea that there is no potency in the absolute truth. No? So here's another one from, again, the Sakti-tattva Upanishad. Paramatma, who is the master of Maya Prakriti, has created all the teachings of the Vedas. I think someone wants to get in. So, anyway, can you close that door? I don't like people looking in during the class. So, there is clearly describing how Krishna is the creator of Ishwar Tattva, of Maya Tattva. No, therefore many, many verses describing the potency of Vishnu, the potency of Krishna. Okay. The personal appearance of Bhagavan, the personal appearance of the Padatattva is called Bhagavan. No? So when Bhagavan has his potencies, but that potency is not manifest, that is called Nirgun Brahma, Brahma Jyoti, or the impersonal Brahman. So even the Brahman is what? That is potency, but not manifest. Like Guru Maharaj would always say, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan when he's with Radhika. Otherwise, without Radhika, he is Nirvishesh Brahma. Just like I'm in this room now, and you turn out the light, everything in the room, I'm here, my stupid computer's here, everything is here. But because there's no light, no illumination, you cannot see anything. But when you turn on the light, then you can see, oh, everything is there. So Krishna always with his Shakti. So when Krishna's with his Shakti, then you can see Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes. So Krishna without his Shakti, that is Nirvishesh Brahma, the impersonal Brahman. Of course, this is one phantasmagoria because Krishna never without his potency. So when the potency is there but potency is not manifest, that is Nirvishesh Brahma. Actually, there is no such thing as Brahma without Shakti, as God without his potency. This is simply an imagination of the Mayavadis. Okay, but we speak like this to give some understanding. In reality, the Nirvishesh Brahma is beyond the conception of the Mayavadis. Therefore, we accept the Sarvishesh Brahma, Bhagavan with potencies, with name, with qualities, with activities. So in simple language, Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes manifested by his potency. Didi gives a simple example. Imagine Vasudha in his room, no friends, no nothing. Then no one can understand what type of person she is. But when she comes outside and starts talking with many people, then qualities come outside. So Krishna's all qualities manifested by Shakti in a simple way. We can understand like that. Okay. Hi eko vano bahuda shakti yogad vanam anekam nihetato dadati Sakti-tattva Upanishad. Although he has one color, he assumes several colors, several moods by dint of his Shakti, his potency. Many colors, many moods exist within him. Indeed, the whole world has its being in him, for he is the creator of the whole world. So I guess many, many examples where it's described in the Upanishads, the potency of the absolute truth. And we heard already in the first chapters, nothing exists without a potency. Nothing exists. Everything has existence because of potencies. We see now how this Shakti, the energy of the absolute truth, is never separate from him. So the Vedic mantras again and again describe the three types of potencies. Okay, the three states of the Parashakti. Okay, Paratattva, Parashakti. Okay, so here's, anyway, this chapter is a little long, so we cannot read all the verses, no? So, you should understand there are three states of the Parashakti. Okay, in her original form, she is called the Chit Shakti. A piece of that Chit Shakti, that is the Jiva, and the shadow of the Chit Shakti, that is this material world, Maya. That will be described like that later chapters. Okay. So, the three states of the Parashakti are the Chit Shakti, Maya Shakti, and Jiv Shakti. Just try to remember this. And Kaviraj Goswami says the same thing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Ananta Shakti Tim tu Pratan, Chit Shakti, Jiv Shakti, Maya Shakti Nam. Krishna has unlimited potencies, but three are main: the spiritual potency, the material potency, and the Tatastha potency. Okay, so the Mayavadis explain that Brahma, God, is the condition, the Nivashesh Brahma is the condition of Paratattva without Shakti. You know? So when Shakti leaves, there is nothing left. But this is imaginary because Paratattva never without his Shakti, always with. So, in reality, Bhagavan always possesses all potency. Potency is present in all of his aspects. He is eternally situated in his Sarup, and although he has all Shakti in that Sarup, he remains separate, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. If he is fully, Brajanath asks, if he is fully associated with his potency, and he only works with the assistance of his potency, then where is his independent nature and desire? Nice question. If Bhagavan is manifested by his Shakti, and he does everything by his Shakti, then what's left? No? Like even we do everything by our potency. I am hungry, then we go to the kitchen and eat something. My nose is itchy, I scratch my nose. So we also do everything by potency. No? So, Babaji Maharaj answers, Shakti Shakti Matora Bed. There is no difference between Krishna and his potencies. No? So work is the influence of potency. If we do something, we say we do something through power. Get up and do this, I cannot, I'm tired. It means I have no power, no energy. Okay? So all work, all activity is accomplished only by the means of potency. However, the desire to work is an indication of the possessor of potency, Shaktiman. Okay? So Krishna always possesses something which is separate from his Shakti. What is that? Only Krishna's Shaktiman, the possessor of Krishna, has independent desire. Radharani, the Jiv Shakti, the Chit Shakti, the Maya Shakti have no independence from the desire of Krishna. Okay. The mundane material world is the work of Maya Shakti. All the jivas are the work of Jiv Shakti, and the spiritual world is the work of the Chit Shakti. So Bhagavan himself inspires the Chit Shakti, the Maya Shakti, and the Jiv Shakti. But despite desiring, he always remains without transformation. So Brajanath, remember Brajanath is a student of logic. So he asks, how can he remain without transformation when he works according to his independent desire? To be possessed of independent desire means that he experiences transformation. That's the Mayavadis, when they hear of the pastimes of Krishna, they think this is impossible because Bhagavan always was without transformation. Krishna is stealing butter, he's milking cows, this is transformation. Like we have transformation, no? Like lust, sleep, greed, anger, many, many things we do. So our activities are all inspired by transformations. Happiness, one transformation. Depression, another transformation. Hunger, another transformation. Tiredness, another transformation. So we are doing many things. All is transformation. So, Babaji explains Nirvikar means without material transformation. Okay, simple thing. So the transformation that is present in Krishna in the form of desire and his pastimes is nothing but a highest manifestation of prema. So Krishna has no material transformations. Everything he experienced is spiritual, that Prema is not material. Okay, wow, this is a big answer. He gives such wonderful manifestations of Krishna's Leela, etc., of transcendental variegatedness are present in the Advaigyan Bhagavan. In spite of creating the material world by his desire through the Maya Shakti, his spiritual nature remains unbroken, unchanged. Maya has no connection with him. So Krishna desires do this, but still Krishna remains separate from Maya. That is extraordinary. Okay. One who suffers from jaundice sees everything as yellow. Similarly, those with material intelligence perceive everything as material. Okay. So, anyway, big explanation he gives. We can hear today a little bit. Maybe this chapter will not finish. So many disturbances we had in the morning. So, the Maya is a shadow, is a reflection of the spiritual reality, you know, like a shadow. So Babaji Maharaj gives the example, like you see a reflection, everything appears opposite. You know, in the mirror, if you lift your right hand, in the mirror it looks like left hand is doing. The body's various parts appear opposite in their reflection. The left hand appears on the right side. The left eye appears as the right eye in a reflection. Similarly, the variegatedness of the spiritual world and the material world appear the same, but they are completely opposite. So Krishna's all transformation, these are transformations of his own ecstasy. They are not transformations caused by some material thing. And Krishna and his potencies are non-different from him. Therefore, Krishna really experiences no transformation. Understand? Vasudha? Okay, we'll go one more time. In this world, we have many transformations caused by the environment. But Krishna's all transformations are caused by Prema. Prema means what? Nadini Shakti Radhika. And Krishna and his potencies are non-different. Krishna is non-different from his potencies. So Krishna's loving pastimes with Radhika, with the gopis and everything, which are manifestations of her, this cannot be said to be real transformation. Why? Because Krishna and his potency are non-different from each other. Okay. So, which of Krishna's Shakti is Radhika? Krishna is the complete Shaktiman. Krishna is the possessor and enjoyer of all potencies. Krishna has two qualities which are not in his energy. The desire, that is independent desire, and Purushata. Purushata means enjoyment. So the Shaktis never try to enjoy. They give enjoyment to Krishna. Okay. So Radhika Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Krishna is the complete Shaktiman, and Radhika is the complete Prema. What is she? Shakti. Okay. So Radhika is the complete Surup Shakti. So they are one, but so they can enact and relish their lila, Radha and Krishna become eternally separate. So this is the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. Achintya Beda Beda Tattva. There is eternal and simultaneous oneness, yet difference between Krishna and his multifarious potencies. So Radha and Krishna are one, at the same time they are two. Okay. Just as incense and smell are mutually inseparable, fire and heat cannot be separated. In the same way, Surup Shakti Radhika has three types of kriya, three types of activities. That is Chit Shakti, Jeev Shakti, and Maya Shakti. Okay, we'll hear that one more time. The Surup Shakti Radhika has three kinds of activity, kriya Shakti. That is the activities of Maya, the activities of the Jiva, and the spiritual activities. Okay? The Chit Shakti is also known as the Antaranga Shakti or the spiritual potency, internal potency. Maya Shakti is the Bahiranga Shakti, external potency. And the marginal potency is the Jiva Shakti. Although Swarup Shakti is one, she acts in these three ways. Well, Param Gurudev gave an example. If you take three little ropes and twist them together, it becomes one rope. So Swarup Shakti has three functions: Chit Shakti, Jiva Shakti, Maya Shakti. So all the characteristics of the Swarup Shakti are present in the Chit Shakti, minutely present in the Jiva Shakti, and presented in an opposite and distorted way in the Maya Shakti. So the Swarup Shakti has three other types of functions: Ladini, Sandini, and Savid. These are described in the fourth verse of Dasmul Tattva, which Nitya Tarangini will learn for tomorrow. Okay, ready? So, this is Dasmul Tattva, verse number 4. 1, 2, goodness, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we'll be lucky to finish this. 8 pages left. Okay, don't turn off. So, Savai Ladiniascha Pranay Vrikatiki Ladini Ratas Ladana Ratas Tata Samvit Shakti Prakita Raho Bhava Rasitaha Tata Sri Sandinya Krita Vishad Tan Dama Nichaya Rasambodo Magno Brajaras Vilasi Vijayate. Okay, so I asked one friend to send us all these 10 verses with their word for word meanings. So hopefully I'll get it today and I'll share it with everyone. So then you can learn each, when you learn the verse, you can learn each word, what it means. The three functions of Swarup Shakti, namely Ladini, Sandini, and Samvit. Krishna remains eternally immersed in his loving pastimes with the Ladini Shakti, Radhika. Because of the confidential emotions invoked by the Samvit Shakti, he is ever situated as Rasik Shekhar in tasting new and ras. The supreme independent pastime prince, that's a good one. Rasik Shekhar Krishna is always drowning in Brajaras and his bliss-filled abode headed by Vrindavan, which are manifest through the Sandini Shakti. All glories to him, all glories to him, all glories to him. So Swarup Shakti has three kriyas, three actions: the actions of the Chit Shakti, the actions of the Jiva Shakti, and the actions of Maya Shakti. So here is describing more clearly the three actions of the Chit Shakti, which is also called Swarup Shakti or Antaranga Shakti. So the Chit Shakti also have three divisions: Sandini, Samvit, and Ladini. Okay, so this Dasmul Tattva is about that, this number 4. Okay, so the Sandini potency is the potency of existence, the spiritual world, Vrindavan, and everything in it is manifested by Sandini. And the Samvit, Prema, what does the Samvit potency manifest? All the knowledge means knowledge of one's existence, a relation with Krishna. So all the bhavs, Sak, Das, Vatsalya, Madhura, everything inside that, this all manifested by the Samvit Shakti. Samvit, potency of knowledge. What is my knowledge of my relationship with Krishna? Samvit is that potency by which Krishna knows himself and by which we can know Krishna. Samvit, and Ladini means Radhika. Okay. So, as Jaiva-Dharma increases, it becomes more and more condensed. So you can't just skip paragraphs and make some summary. Okay. So, there are three aspects of the Swarup Shakti. The here means Chit Shakti, internal potency. That is Ladini, Sandini, Samvit. These completely influence all the activities of the Chit Shakti, Jiv Shakti, and Maya Shakti. This will be explained later. Okay? Wow. Just thinking of explaining become fearful. Okay. This is described, he's describing this in the next paragraph. Very important for us. You know? By this you can understand, if I'm a Jiva, eternal servant of Krishna, why I need sadhu sang. All this will become clear to us. So, the Sarup Shakti, the Chit Shakti have three divisions, Sandini, Samvit, Ladini. These three have influence in each and every aspect of the three Kriyas of the Sarup Shakti, namely Chit Shakti, Jiv Shakti, and Maya Shakti. Okay, so if you don't understand, then I have to read this chapter 14 again and again. Okay, Srimati Radhika, the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, gives full transcendental bliss and happiness to Krishna. She is the embodiment of Mahabhav. Prem Sar Bhav, Ladini Sar Bhav, Bhav Sar. The essence of Ladini Shakti is called Prema. The essence of Prema is called Bhav. The essence of Bhav is Mahabhav, and Radharani is made of Mahabhav. Ladini Sar Prem, Prem Sar Bhav. Ladini Nam Dara, Nam Dari Mahabhav. Okay. So Radharani is made of Mahabhav. She gives happiness to Krishna. And she also manifests, her 8 moods manifested as the 8 Astasakis, which are direct expansions, Kai Vyuha. They're direct expansions of Radhika. Besides that, she has 4 different types of service mood. She has 4 different types of Sakis. The Priya Sakis, the Narma Sakis, the Pran Sakis, and the Param Presta Sakis. These are all Nitya Siddhas. Okay? So Radhika from her body manifests the 8 Sakis. As well, she has 4 different moods. These 4 different moods manifest as the 4 Nitya Siddha Sakis. They're the Priya Sakis, the Narma Sakis, the Pran Sakis, and the Param Presta Sakis. Okay, Jivas like us, we can become Nitya Sakis. Yes, Nitya Sakis of the 5 types. But the Priya Sakis, the Nama Sakis, the Pran Sakis, and the Param Presta Sakis, we can never become them. Because Jiva is Jiva at the end of the day. Okay, so Jiva is most we can aspire for, most. That is position of the Nitya Sakis. Even Rup Manjari, Rati Manjari, these are all Pran Sakis. We cannot become like them also. Can become like them, but still will always be a little under them. So all these Sakis are Nitya Siddha Sakis within the transcendental realm of Braj. Okay, so all the Sakis manifested by Radhika. Radhika means she is the presiding deity of the Ladini Shakti. Wow, chapter 14 goes right there, doesn't it? This is Sakti-tattva. Okay, the Samvid Briti. Samvid means knowledge, right? Manifest all the various moods of the relationships within Braj. Das, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhuras, all these feelings of a relationship with Krishna manifested by the Samvit potency. And Krishna himself is the presiding deity of the Samvit Shakti. Sandini manifests everything in Braj, including the water and earth, villages, forests, gardens, Govardhan, the pastime places, even the bodies of the associates, even the bodies of Krishna, Radhika, Balaram. Everything manifested by the Sandini Shakti. And Balaram himself is the presiding deity of the Sandini Shakti. The Sandini Shakti manifests all the other transcendental objects used in Krishna's pastimes. Krishna's shoes, flute, cloth, bed, house, cows, everything. As well as the transcendental bodies of Radhika, Krishna, the Sakis, Sakas, cows, dasas and dasis, Even Radhika's body manifested by the Sandini Shakti. Even Krishna's body. How's that? Okay, so these three are one. Cannot separate. So, Krishna always absorbed in loving pastimes with the pranay vikar of the Ladini Shakti.
Jai Bhagavan.
Jai. Ramana Maharaj ki. Okay. Guru Maharaj would explain, Siradaya Pranaya Mahima. Krishna was alone in the beginning. Okay, where you're using material language, some fault will be there. Krishna would thought, I want to enjoy. That time from the left side of his body manifested Radhika. So Radhika is a transformation of Krishna's desire to enjoy. Therefore, she is known as the Ladini Shakti. Krishna always absorbed in that. And the Ladini Shakti not different from Radhika. Not different from himself. Therefore, we cannot attribute Krishna with a fault of transformation. Okay. Like I'm talking with myself in the mirror. Am I really talking with a different person? So Krishna always absorbed in the pastimes with Radhika. And he also enjoying all the moods manifested by the different devotees which come from the Samvit Shakti, the Samvit Vritti. Okay. So even Radhika's mood towards Krishna is also come from the Samvit Vritti. So Krishna tasting that. Krishna enjoys the activities of attracting the gopis with his flute, the gopis by his flute, taking the cows for grazing, Raslila and all pastimes. Krishna is Brajvilasi, the enjoyer of pastimes in Vrindavan. He always remains absorbed in this ras. And this Vrindavan, which is the abode of everything which is going on, that's why it's called Dham. It holds everything, including Krishna, Radhika, and all pastimes. This Dham is manifested by the Sandini Shakti. It's a nice combination. Okay, Prema, try and stay awake. Thank you. So, of all pastimes, Vrindavan is the sweetest. Brajana said, you have just explained that Sandini, Samvit, and Ladini are all manifestations of Sarup Shakti. You have also said that Jiva Shakti is an atomic part of the Sarup Shakti. We said that before. And Maya Shakti is a reflection of the Sarup Shakti, or shadow. Reflection is better. How the Sandini, Samvit, and Ladini tendencies act upon the Jiva and on Maya. Right. Okay, we'll finish this today, I think. Oh, wow. Because this is the third class, I feel like I should be finishing, but we're only halfway through. Understand Brajanath's question? Prema, you've got to concentrate. So how these three things, Sandini, Samvit, and Ladini, how do they influence the Jiva and Maya? Now this is very important because the Babajis believe there's no relation. They believe there's no influence. So it's very important for us to understand this. For example, the Babajis believe the Jiva has no inherent sarup, no inherent existence. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains why this philosophy is wrong. So it's very important for us. Jiva Shakti is the atomic potency of the Sarup Shakti, like a part of the Sarup Shakti, that is the Jiva. Therefore, all three aspects of Sarup Shakti are present in the Jiva to a minute degree. Sat, Chit, Ananda. These are the three features of the Sarup Shakti. So Sat, Chit, Ananda, these three features are minutely present in the Jiva. Okay? Thus, Ladini Shakti, the Ladini Vritti, is always present in Jiva in the form of Brahmananda, impersonal bliss. Samvit Vritti is present in the form of Brahmagyan, impersonal knowledge. And Sandini Vritti is present in the Jiva's minute form, clearly described. I will explain this subject later. So the Sarupa of the Jiva's nose, eyes, teeth, ears, hands, legs, stomach, cloth, everything is there. This is more clearly described in the next chapter. Because Samvit means, Sandini means existence. So the jiva's existence is there, even in the conditioned stage. This is where the Babajis disagree with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That is their misfortune. Of course, there must be a relationship between the Jiv Shakti and the Surup Shakti, because the Jiv Shakti come from the Surup Shakti. Like a spark from a fire, there must be a relationship. So that is why the Babajis believe, oh, in the Jiva there is no Ladini, there is no Samvit, there is only Sandini, existence. They say the Jiva is like a potato. They say Sadhusang gives all the moods and everything, but it's not true. It's there inherent. Okay. That is why without Sadhusang, the Jiva cannot gain entrance into the transcendental subject matter of Krishna's service. Without Sadhusang, without this touch of the Sarup Shakti which comes through Sadhusanga, the Jiva must remain limited to Brahmagyan, Brahmananda, and existence, impersonal existence. He cannot have more than that without Sadhusanga. Understand? It's very important. You understand, Prema? Try and understand. Okay, tomorrow we're going to ask you some questions. If you know this, then you can defeat the Babajis. Sachidananda is in the Jiva, always in the Jiva, but minute. Okay. So he will explain this more clearly in the next chapter. Okay. In Maya Shakti, the Ladini Vritti manifests in the form of mundane pleasure, Samvit manifests as mundane knowledge, and Sandini manifests as mundane existence. If Shakti is called inconceivable, why is it described like this? So Babaji answers. Anyway, the topics can be understood in isolation from each other, but really they are one. They're inconceivably connected with each other. Okay, so we'll just go over that one more time. So the Sarup Shakti, the Para Shakti, has three functions. Okay, three kriyas. That is the Chit Shakti, the Maya Jiv Shakti, and the Maya Shakti. So this Chit Shakti also have three divisions. The division of existence, the division of knowledge, and the division of action, happiness. This is called Gyan Shakti, Kriya Shakti, and Bal Shakti. So these three divisions of the Sarup Shakti influence in every matter the workings of the Jiv Shakti and the Maya Shakti also. There's a connection. Therefore, Sachidananda is in the Jiva in a minute way because the Jiv Shakti come from the Sarup Shakti, and it's in a perverted way in the Maya Shakti because Maya Shakti is a reflection of the Chit Shakti. Okay? So these three functions, Samvit, Ladini, and Sandini, present in the Jiva in the form of impersonal happiness, impersonal knowledge, impersonal existence, and present in Maya in the form of material enjoyment, material existence, material enjoyment, and material knowledge. Okay? Everyone have to make their own efforts to try and understand this philosophy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, even though Krishna has a most attractive form, at the same time he is formless. This is Krishna, right? He has an impersonal aspect, he has a personal aspect. How both things can be in him, that is Krishna, inconceivable. He has a transcendental form which is localized in one place, yet at the same time he is all-pervading, that is inconceivable. Okay? He does everything, but yet at the same time he is niskriya, without action. Like Vishnu doing what all day? Sleeping, but he do everything by desire. Krishna is doing many activities day and night. So how Krishna be absorbed in Leela, but at the same time do nothing? That is Krishna. Natasya karam karanam chavidite. He does everything, but at the same time he does nothing. How is it possible? Achintya, inconceivable. Even though he is unborn, he takes birth as the son of Nanda Maharaj. That is inconceivable. Although he is the greatest, he is a cowherd boy. This is inconceivable. Okay. Even though he is worshipped by everyone, he is just a cowherd boy. Okay. He has a human-like form, even though he is omniscient. Okay. So he is saying, giving us all these examples. At the same time, he possesses all qualities, yet he has no material qualities. He is Sarvishesh and Nirvishesh at the same time. How possible, Nitya Changini? Achintya. So he is Achintya. He is without transformation, but full of ras. That is Achintya. He is limited and limitless. He is limited and limited. He is limited and limitless. Achintya. He is far away. Where's Krishna? Goloka Vrindavan. At the same time, soul of the soul. Very far away, but so close. How possible? Inconceivable. He is Atmaram, self-satisfied. At the same time, he's falling at the feet of the gopis. How possible? Achintya. No? He is without fear, but he fears the man of the gopis. Achintya. So, this way, many ways we can understand Krishna's inconceivable nature. So, Krishna's potencies are also achintya, inconceivable. Maharaj gives the example, like you drink a glass of water. How it takes away thirst, how you feel when you drink the water, cannot explain. Or you smell a flower, how does it smell? Cannot explain. Even these simple things in this world are inconceivable. What to speak of the functions of Krishna's parasha. They contradict each other, yet they are eternally and beautiful, present without opposition and without conflict in his Sarup. This is the inconceivable nature of his Shakti. Do the Vedas accept this? Sure, you bet they do. Rajana says, Apani pado javanu grahita pasyate achuksha sashviniti akarana. Okay, he has no hands, he accepts the offering. He has no ears, but he hears everything. He has no eyes, but he sees everything. Like Didi. So, this describes the inconceivable potencies of Krishna. Okay. Is there any description in the Vedas of Bhagavan who is completely independent, who appears in this world by his own desire? Yes, the Vedas mention it in several places. The Kena Upanishad describes a conversation between Uma, Parvati, and Shiva. Once there was a big fight between the demigods and the demons. The demons were defeated and fled. The devatas became victorious and became puffed up. No? They thought, we have done this, but actually only Bhagavan has done. Out of pride and ignorance, the demigods began to boast. I am the greatest, I am the greatest. At this time, Bhagavan appeared before them in the form of a yaksha, like some creature. He then produced a straw and said, who is most powerful? Demigod, he said to the fire demigod, can you burn this? The fire demigod used all his potency, could not burn the straw. Then wind demigod came, used all his potency, could not move the straw. This way, all the demigods used all their potency, but they could not move even a straw. The devas were astounded to see Bhagavan's extraordinary beautiful form and power. Here it says, the Kena Upanishad, the fire god came and tried to burn the straw, but he couldn't. Then the fire god scratched his head. I cannot understand who that yaksha is. It means Bhagavan can appear in this world by his own independent desire. We are forced to take birth because of previous karma, previous desire. But Krishna's appearance in this world is independent. He is not forced to appear. Okay, so the confidential purport of this is Bhagavan is an inconceivably attractive person. He appears by his own sweet will and performs pastimes with the jivas. You describe Bhagavan as an ocean of rasa. Is this described anywhere? Yes, it's described in the Taittiriya Upanishad. He is supremely handsome. His sarup is full of nectar or ras. When the jiva realizes this rasa sarup Bhagavan, he also becomes full of bliss and happiness. Okay. So Brajanath said, if Krishna is full of rasa, full of happiness, why the materialists cannot see him or understand him? Okay, Babaji Maharaj says there are two types of conditioned souls. Again and again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur used this in a different language for the same thing. Remember before, Udit, Anudit, those of awakened discrimination, those of sleeping discrimination, he used. Sevanmukh and Bahirmukh, who are inclined to the seva of Krishna, who are opposed to the seva of Krishna. What else he used? Many, many ways he described the same nature. So here he uses another one. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, turned away from Krishna, Parak, and those who are facing Krishna, Pratyak. Okay. Jivas in the Parak state, opposed to Krishna, cannot see his beauty because they hate him. They only see and think about material things. Jivas in the Pratyak state, who are inclined to his seva, they're favorable to Krishna. They can see how Krishna is Rasa Sarup. Like when Kamsa saw Krishna at the wrestling arena, did Kamsa think Krishna's body is very sweet, he is very handsome? He thought, I will kill him. So, Brajanath said, who in the shlok Raso Vaisa, who is Raso Vaisa? Who is the embodiment of Ras? So, that is Krishna. In the Gopal Tapani Upanishad, it says, he is dressed like a coward boy. His eyes are like white lotuses. His bodily complexion is blackish like a rain cloud. He wears effulgent yellow cloth as brilliant as lightning. He has two hands. He is showing the Gyan Mudra, whatever that is, which gives knowledge. His neck is decorated by a beautiful garland of forest flowers, which reach to his knees, his feet. He is standing beneath a kalpabriksha. He is Krishna, the Lord of everything. Okay. The conclusion is, Prema, Brajanath said, I now understand that Krishna is eternally situated in the spiritual world. Krishna not in this world. Paramatma is just his expansion. So where is Krishna fully present? Golok Vrindavan. He is all powerful. He is the embodiment of Ras and the Asray Sarup of all Ras. He is the shelter of all Ras. Okay. And he is the object of all Ras also. If one practices the eightfold system of yoga, he can realize his partial expansion as Super Soul. The Niveshesh Brahma, the impersonal Brahma Jyoti, is Krishna's bodily effulgence. No, stop. Okay. We cannot achieve him by our mundane logic and argument. Whether one is a Brahmana or from an untouchable family, it is very difficult to attain Krishna's mercy. How can one see Krishna? Brajanath asks. Nayamatma prapachanena labhyana medayana bahuna shruta. Param Gurudev loved this verse from the 11th canto, from the Katha Upanishad. One cannot attain Parabrahma by lecturing, by intelligence, or by studying many scriptures. Krishna reveals himself to that person who gets his mercy. Pam Gurudev would also use that verse a lot. Now, media, I'm very intelligent, I will get Krishna. I give many lectures and read many books, I will understand Krishna. My son, Krishna is very kind. Slavaboga. Krishna is the soul of the soul. He cannot be attained by reading many books, or by hearing many lectures, or by argument or by discussion. He cannot be achieved by intelligence, or by accepting many bogus gurus. One who accepts Krishna as my Krishna, he can attain him. He will only manifest to such a devotee who feels Krishna is mine. Afterwards, we will discuss sadhana, Jaiva-Dharma, and you will understand these things more clearly. My God, how am I going to finish this chapter? Are the names of Krishna's supreme abode written anywhere? Yes, yes, it's described. It is known as Paravyoma. It is known as Brahma Gopal Puri. It's known as Gokul. It's also known as Brahmapuri. I added that. So yes, the abode, the supreme abode where Krishna lives, that is mentioned in different places. Okay. Why do the Brahmanas call Shiva's potency as Durga? Okay. The deluding potency Maya Shakti, Babaji Maharaj says, is called Shiv Shakti, the potency of Shiva. Maya has three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay. When the jiva becomes opposed to Krishna, when the soul becomes opposed to Krishna, illusion punishes him by throwing him into worldly bondage. When the jiva becomes favorable to Krishna, the same Maya manifests the mode of goodness in him and gives him knowledge of Krishna. She then liberates him from material bondage. No, we sing every morning to Yoga Maya. What's the first line? Huh? Amara samana hina nahi duracha. Astir hoyeche par babe para par. I'm very low, I'm fallen. Niskapat. How Maya? Come on, you guys. Anyway, we pray like that. You are the same Maya which covers those Krishna, Sanmukha, those the jivas opposed to Krishna, you cover them. And the Krishna become inclined to the seva of Krishna. You're the same who give all knowledge, who give seva to Krishna. The same Maya binds and the same Maya liberates. She then makes him qualified to attain the seva of Krishna. The jivas bound by Maya the jivas bound by illusion cannot see the pure form of Maya. That is Radhika, the Swarup Shakti, or Yoga Maya. Not like Kamsa, when Vasudev Maharaj brought baby Yoga Maya. Actually, he brought Yoga Maya, Mahamaya back. Then Kamsa took her from the basket, went to kill her. Then she manifested her eight-armed form as Durga. Why? The jivas bound by the modes of nature cannot see the pure form of Maya. No. They only see the primeval Shakti, which is Durga. The jiva in the state of illusion can only realize these advanced philosophical truths by great good fortune, and by the power of Sukriti and Sadhusanga. Who is this Durga of Gokul? Rajanath asked. In the Gokul Upasana, Durga Devi has been counted amongst Hari's associates. Right? It says, in Vaikuntha I am Lakshmi. No? In Gokul I am known as Durga. Who is Durga? Who is the Durga of Gokul? The Durga of Gokul is none other than Yoga Maya. Another name of Radhika is also Durga. Yoga Maya means Radhika's manifestation. So the Maya of Gokul, the Durga of Gokul is Yoga Maya. She is situated at the seed of transformation of Chit Shakti. Like Shiva is considered a transformation of Krishna. So Durga is considered the transformation of Maya. And Yoga Maya is the seed of transformation of the Chit Shakti, of Radhika. So when she is present in the spiritual world, she considers herself to be non-different from the Sarup Shakti. The material Maya is only a transformation of the Yoga Maya, the spiritual Maya. The Durga in the material world is a servant of the Durga of the Sarup Shakti. In simple language, the Durga of Gokul is Yoga Maya. And in this world, she covers the jivs as by Sattva, Raja and Tama. So Durga is one, not two. But for those who are inclined to Krishna Seva, she is known as Yoga Maya. Those who are opposed to Krishna, then she is known as Mahamaya. The Durga of the Sarup Shakti, that is Leela Poshana Shakti. She nourishes the pastimes of Krishna, that is Purnamasi Devi. The gopis who have taken shelter of the Parikya Bhav, bestowed by Yoga Maya, nourishes Krishna's Ras Leela in the spiritual world, right? The sudden Shivas, sudden Siddha Jivas took shelter of Purnamasi, and what? She gave them qualification to enter Ras Leela. Therefore, Yoga Maya Apatsritam. Krishna says, Sukadeva Goswami spoke this verse in the first verse of Ras Leela. Yoga Maya, seeing the full moon, then Krishna took shelter of Yoga Maya. No? Who Yoga Maya? Why Yoga Maya arrange all these pastimes? So Yoga Maya is known as Leela Poshan Shakti. She nourished the pastimes of Krishna. Okay. In order to nourish Maharas, Yoga Maya stages activities that appear to be like materialistic activities. But we'll discuss this later on. Then why do the Vaishnavas refer to Navadvip as Sri Dham? Babaji. So much Tattva Siddhanta, no? Maybe people feel a little bored by this, but this is also one nectar. Sri Navadvip Dham and Sri Vrindavan Dham are non-different from each other. And Mayapur is the truth, the highest truth within Navadvip Dham. Mayapur is Yoga Pit, right? Where Bhaktivinoda Thakur established the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. That is Antardvip Yoga Pit, like the Kanika, like the center of a flower. If Navadvip is like a 8-petal lotus, then Antardvip is the center, which Yoga Pit is there. The relationship of Sri Mayapur to Navadvip is the same as the relationship of Sri Gokul to Braj. Mayapur is the Maha Yoga Pit of Navadvip. According to the Chana Shloka of Bhagavatam, where Prahlad Maharaj described that in Kali Yuga Bhagavan appears in a hidden form. The plenary avatar of Bhagavan who appears in Kali Yuga is covered, means become in the mood of devotee. And similarly, this holy abode of Navadvip is also covered. That's why it's called Gupta Vrindavan, hidden Vrindavan. In Kali Yuga, no other holy place is equal to Sri Navadvip. Only one who can realize the transcendental nature of this Dham is actually qualified for Brajaras. Okay, because Navadvip destroys all our anantas, offense, gives us the shelter of Vaishnavas. When one is free from the coverings of anantas, then one can realize one's own swarup as an associate of Braj. Only one who can realize the transcendental nature of this Navadvip is actually qualified for Brajaras. From an external material point of view, Brajdam and Navadvip appear different. They appear to be material. Only those whose spiritual eyes have been opened by some good fortune can see the spiritual nature of these two places. I want to know the Sarup of Navadvip Dham. Golok, Vrindavan, and Svetadvip are the inner compartments of the spiritual sky of Paravyoma. Golok, Vrindavan, and Svetadvip. Inner compartments. Just like the spiritual sky have many precautions, many divisions. The Vaikunthas, then Ayodhya, Dwarka, Mathura. So even Golok have inside and outside sections. Okay. Krishna's Leela Swakila Leela takes place in Golok, the outer section of Vrindavan. Okay, this becomes confusing because many times they use the same words for the same places. Okay. So even the inner section, the topmost section of the spiritual sky, which is known as Golok, it have an internal and outside section. The outside section is where the Swakya Lila takes place. There Radha Krishna are there, but married mood. So some opulent awe and reverence is there. I have heard from Gurudev other sampradayas who worship Radha Krishna but do not accept separation. Then they go to this outer section of Golok. Because husband and wife never separated, like Dwarka mood. They go there. His Padikya Lila takes place only in the inner section of Vrindavan. And other Lila takes place in Svetadvip. Parashista. And a supplementary section takes place in Svetadvip. Svetadvip here means Gauranga's pastimes. So the innermost section of the spiritual sky, there is Golok, there is Vrindavan and Svetadvip. Pastimes of Radha Krishna and Padikya, pastimes of Gauranga. So Navadvip in Tattva, there is no difference between these three. Three means Vrindavan, Golok, the outer section, which he calls here Vrindavan, and Svetadvip. These three, non-different. So Navadvip is really Svetadvip. It is non-different from Vrindavan. The residents of Navadvip are very fortunate. They are associates of Gauranga. One can entertain residents of Navadvip after performing pious activities for many lifetimes. Some ras is not manifest in Vrindavan, but that ras is manifest in Navadvip as a supplement of Vrindavan ras. Right? In Vrindavan is only pure Parikya ras, but in Navadvip is many, many other moods. Right? Srivas Thakur has another mood. All these other devotees, Advaita Charya also. All are not absorbed in Parikya ras. All have some other mood, but all is reconciled by Navadvip. So something which is in Navadvip is not in Vrindavan. Okay. Some ras is not manifested in Vrindavan, but that very ras is manifested in Navadvip as an assistant of Vrindavan ras. No? One experiences that ras only when he becomes competent to relish it. Wow, so much in Jaiva-Dharma, so much is there. Okay? No way I'm going to finish this. Okay? I should try. Okay? Is Prashad ready? No. Okay, so anyway, I should not rush because so much is here we cannot skip. If we skip, we lose so much. How large is Navadvip Dham? Navadvip Dham is 16 crores. What is that? 56 square miles, is it? It is shaped like a lotus with 8 petals. There are 8 islands. Can I remember them? Simantadvip, Godumdvip, Madhyadvip, Koladvip, Ritudvip, Janudvip, Modrumdvip, Rudradvip. Antadvip is the center, and 8 is around. Mayapur is the heart of Antadvip. We say, Sri Mayapur Antadvip Atmik. Atma, the soul of Antadvip, that is Yoga-pit. One can quickly attain love of Krishna by performing sadhan bhajan in Navadvip Dham, especially in Mayapur. Saraswati Thakur chanted 3 lakh of Harinam for 10 years while mostly residing in the Yoga-pit Antadvip. Most Gaudiya mats also built in Antadweep. Some special potency is there. The Mahayogapith, the residence of Jagannath Mishra, the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya, is in the center of Mayapur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur established this in his pastimes. Are the pastimes of Gauranga work of Swarup Shakti? Definitely. No doubt about it. There is no difference because there is no difference between Krishna and Gauranga. Krishna and Chaitanya are both eternally manifest. You cannot say one came first and he came after. No. You cannot say Radha came first or Krishna came first. Both have merged. That is Lord Chaitanya. And when both have separate forms, that is Radha Krishna. One who thinks one pastime is main and another is secondary, that is offensive. So both the pastimes of Radha Krishna and Mahaprabhu both simultaneously occurring. If Gauranga is directly Radha Krishna, what is the process of his worship? One worships Gauranga by chanting Gaur Nam mantra. No, Gaur mantra, Gaur Gayatri. And by chanting his names in Krishna Nam mantra. Lord Chaitanya is worshipped by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Worshipping Gauranga through the chant, the Krishna mantra, is the same as worshipping Krishna by the Gauranga mantra. Those who believe there's a difference between Gauranga and Krishna are very foolish. They are servants of Kali. When will we realize this? Like when the Brahmana was, one Taittvic Brahmana was offering food by Gopal mantra, Lord Chaitanya came and took the offering, showing there's no difference between Gauranga and Krishna. Because Gauranga is Radha Krishna. So chant Gauranga mantra properly, you'll see Radha Krishna. Okay. Where's the mantra of Mahaprabhu? Babaji Maharaj asked. The mantra of the hidden incarnation are given in a secret way. Those whose intelligence is not crooked can understand. No? Afterwards, the disciple of Gopal Guru Goswami named Dhyan Chandra Goswami, he collected all these mantras for the worship of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his associates. Maharaj translated that to Hindi. There is also mantra and Gayatri for Lord Chaitanya, for Lord Nityananda, for Dvaitacharya, for Srivas Thakur, for Gadadhar Pandit, for Rupa Goswami. All is there. He found all these mantras. So very important. By which method is Gauranga worshipped? As Radha Krishna. Gauranga's Yugal is worshipped in one way in the archan process and another way in the bhajan process. This will be described in the very last chapter of Jaiva-Dharma. Now we think Gauranga is separate from Radha Krishna, so think like that. Maybe they're in the Aishwarya or bhajan as immature. They think Radha Krishna has come as Gauranga and they worship Gauranga with separate mantras, separate meditation. That is the process of archan. And the process of bhajan is where you think Mahaprabhu is manifested as Radha Krishna. The worship of Radha Krishna is the same as the worship of Mahaprabhu. And they exclusively worship Radha Krishna. That is the path of bhajan. Got it, Malati? Will I say it one more time? Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses all this so sweetly in Navadvip Mahatmya. Where one meditates and thinks Radha Krishna have come as Gauranga and meditates on Gauranga with separate mantra, that is Archan Marg. And one who thinks Gauranga manifests as Radha Krishna and they understand worship of Radha Krishna is the worship of Gauranga, that is called Bhajan Marg. Like one time I asked, did he hear? Because in Australia, some temple, Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, they installed one deity of God, Lord Chaitanya, only Lord Chaitanya. So I asked Didi here one time, what do you think of that? Didi said, okay, but we just installed deity of Radha Krishna and think that is Gauranga. Inside Radha Krishna is Gauranga. So one is the path of Archan, one is the path of Bhajan. Those in the path of Archan, they worship Gaur Vishnu Priya. And those in the path of bhajan, worship Gaur Gadadhar. Okay? Okay. Gaur Vishnu Priya are worshipped in the process of archan, and the process of bhajan, one performs service to Gaur Gadadhar. Because Gauranga Mahaprabhu always doing bhajan lila. So to remember how Gauranga Mahaprabhu is always remembering Radha Krishna, that is bhajan, worship of Gauranga in the path of bhajan. Which Shakti of Gauranga is Vishnu Priya? Some, Babaji Maharaj said, some call her Bhu Shakti. However, she is the S, but in reality, she is Bhakti Shakti, the essence of Samvit and Ladini. Is Vishnu Priya the Swarup Shakti? There is no doubt about it, Babaji Maharaj says. How can there be any doubt about it that Vishnu Priya is the Swarup Shakti? Is the essence of Samvit and Ladini anything else but Swarup Shakti? Samvit and Ladini means Bhakti Shakti. Bhakti Shakti and Swarup Shakti is the same thing. Brajanath said, Prabhuji, I will soon learn to worship Lord Gauranga. No, now we're going to hear that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so kind. He always gives some synopsis at the end, because these are so high things. So just be patient. Let me read this conclusion, and we will finish this chapter today. Brajanath said, Prabhu, later I will learn to worship Gauranga. No, you've explained that the Chit Shakti, Jiv Shakti, and Maya Shakti are three manifestations of the Swarup Shakti. And that Ladini, Samvit, and Ladini are three functions of the Swarup Shakti. These three functions, Samvit, Ladini, and Sandini, act on the three manifestations, the Chit Shakti, the Jiv Shakti, and Maya Shakti. All of this is the work of Shakti. Apart from this, the spiritual world, the spiritual body, and all the spiritual pastimes are all done by Shakti. Then what does Krishna do? What's left? What's the indication of Shakti Mam? Right? Then Babaji laughing, you could imagine, because Brajanath's so intelligent. He's so expert in Nyaya. Nyaya means all this, logic. So Babaji said, this is a very difficult question. Are you trying to kill me with the arrows of your logic? No. My dear son, the answer is as simple as the question. It's difficult to find a person who is qualified to understand. I shall explain, please try to understand. Okay? I agree that Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes are all indicated by the functions of Shakti. Right? Krishna's flute playing, Krishna's cow grazing, everything done by Shakti. However, freedom and free will, swatantrata, independence and free desire, free will, they are not the work of Shakti, they are the intrinsic activities of Krishna, Shakti Ma. I remember years ago, Shamarani, years ago, she would always give these classes, you know. I don't know why, but you hear and you just feel so unhappy, unsatisfied, disturbed, you know. Shakti Radharani is doing everything, Krishna can't desire anything without Radhika, blah, blah. And what's left of Krishna? No? Then we found this verse and showed her. Then she tried to go to the Hindi to try to find, oh no, where's the Hindi? But it's clear as day. And she changed all her sahaja, no? Anyway, that is many years ago. People changed. So, two things always with Krishna, desire and free will. No? Shakti is enjoyed and Krishna is the enjoyer. Shakti is dependent and Krishna is independent. Shakti surrounds that independent Krishna on all sides, but he is always the controller and conscious of Shakti. Krishna is the master of Shakti, he is the Purush, even though he is surrounded and covered by Shakti. That is why the conditioned soul cannot realize the identity of Shakti Mam without the mercy of Shakti. Okay? However, when the bhaktas develop love for Shakti Mam Krishna, they can perceive him who is beyond Shakti also. Bhakti is also one Shakti. That is why she has a female form. Radhika, or even Tulsi Devi, we also call Bhakti Devi. Being under the guidance of Swarup Shakti, Bhakti Devi also experienced the pastimes of the Purush Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is possessed of free will and being the enjoyer. These are the two qualities of Krishna. Okay, and we'll finish here. Next class, the day after tomorrow, 1 page is left. So everyone, including Dhamma Maharaj, have to learn these 2 verses of Dasmal Shiksha, Dasmal Tattva 3 and 4, and then chapter 15, Jiva-Tattva Pramaya, the day after tomorrow. Lord Premanandi. Wow. Nice.